All right, so this weekend, it's finally time to see what Respawn is working on in the Star Wars universe. And Amazon seemingly leaked, as you're seeing here, just some artwork from it. I don't think it's like the cover art or anything, unless they did something in here to make the logo bigger or something. But it is seemingly key art from the game, Jedi Fallen Order. Now, this weekend, we're going to find out more. Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They'll be streaming it, and they'll do a big reveal. I assume we'll see gameplay. We'll at least see something to kind of set up the game. And I am very hopeful for this game. I think it can be good overall, but I have to pretty much say it because we're all thinking it. EA, please don't ruin this game, because I think you have something here with Respawn. Obviously, they did Apex Legends, and whether you like that type of game or not, like Battle Royale, I don't like Battle Royale games, like, really at all anymore, so I wasn't really into it, but it's clear that it's very popular. It's also free to play. This won't be free to play. However, Star Wars fans, or fans of Star Wars, don't mind spending $60 on a game, obviously, that's going to take place in the Star Wars universe if it's good. And Respawn can make a single-player game. They can make a story-driven game. If you played Titanfall 2's campaign, you're probably really excited for the idea of Respawn to get their hands on Star Wars and make a game centered around the Jedi. And it looks like that's the idea of the game you're going to play. Apparently, a Padawan who actually survived the end of Episode 3, where they just started wiping out all of the remaining Jedi. You'll actually play as one, a Padawan, and I assume kind of learn and grow throughout the game. And it's interesting because it seems to be just a full-on single-player game. We don't know if there are going to be multiplayer elements to it. Now, we know EA wants multiplayer in every single game they make. They want them to all be live services, but I would hope that EA is starting to figure out that if they do that with every single Star Wars game they have, they're going to run out of time before their license is up, and they're going to have like 4 games made. and it's going to make no sense to have made that deal, and they would have lost out on a ton of money. So I'm hoping EA has realized that, and that's why they put Respawn on this project, and they said, look, we need a single-player game, and we need it to be out and ready to go for the movie coming up, and we understand you're probably not going to be able to make a full-on live service game like a Division 2, for example, or an Anthem. So, do your best work with single player. That's what I'm hoping we see. Now, there are some things that should get people pretty excited about this game. And one of those things appears to be that the game will actually be built in Unreal Engine 4. Now, I thought a bit about this, and I was trying to figure out why would they do that if they have Frostbite. Well, here's actually where we figured this out. All right, so this is from March 8th of last year, so it's from a while ago. There was actually a job listing that was spotted, and it calls for work with the art team to build tools and shaders in Unreal Engine 4. And it would be weird to call for that if you're not actually developing in Unreal Engine 4, obviously, right? You're not developing in Unreal Engine 4. I don't know why you would hire somebody who can work with the art team to build tools and shaders in Unreal Engine 4. And there's a few other things to look at here. It's third person, right? That's the biggest thing. It is third person. This is actually going back to an article from February 5th of this year. It is a third person single player action game. It appears to be action adventure even. And if you remember, Frostbite appears to struggle when you get out of first person. When you go into third person, that's when it starts to have problems. If you remember, the Dragon Age Inquisition didn't even have a third-person camera. They had to develop that thing and create it. Anthem went through all kinds of problems during development, and this, of course, would have been development during Anthem's development when they had to pull everybody and have all kinds of people work on it. This would have been in development alongside that. I have a feeling if it is Unreal Engine 4, which it looks like it is, they would have done that to help kind of fast-track the game a bit, get an engine that everyone is pretty much familiar with and is much easier to work with rather than their in-house Frostbite engine. And then, take the hit when it comes to the fees for Unreal Engine 4. But there's also a chance that this could do something with the Epic Store. If you remember, Ubisoft cut a deal with Epic, right, where the Division 2 went there, and they, of course, got a much better deal when it came to fees and everything. And I'm sure there were some other little benefits in there. But if this is built on Unreal Engine 4 and you sell in the Epic Store, they waive that fee and it's like a 12% cut, maybe even less than that. Maybe they would do 90-10 for a game as big as this and get it all signed up. That's very possible. So it's possible that could have even been talked about a while ago when they were working on this. Oh yeah, the Epic Store, let's see what they'll do with us in Unreal Engine 4. So if it is Unreal Engine 4, it's going to be pretty exciting because it's probably going to be less janky and all over the place like Anthem and all the issues that it had. And if it's closed off in single player, it should be much more refined and feel much more polished. And then this is actually all the information that was taken during that the EA Play stuff that took place at E3 last year, where they went over everything. This is actually on StarWars.com, so it's obviously as much of an official statement as we can get. Where they do talk about when it takes place, the third-person action-adventure series, and that it's coming out holiday of 2019. And that's the only reason I could think that Unreal Engine 4 would have been used, because it would help fast-track it. So there is a lot of excitement around this because of Respawn, because of what they can do with a campaign like Titanfall, having that move over to something like Star Wars. But the issue we run into, like I said before, is that EA is involved. And I would like to think that EA is getting a bit tired of getting kicked around. I'm going to put this artwork on here. It's pretty cool. Where they're tired of getting kicked around. I would like to think that they want a game to come out that they can show to investors, right, and everyone else and say, look, we can still have a game come out that can score in the 90s for Metacritic. They just don't see that anymore. I mean, they just got a beatdown with Anthem. That thing, I think, is in the 50s now on Metacritic, which is crazy. So I would like to think that they're getting tired of it. And let's all be honest here. If Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order comes out, and it is good, it's like a 90-something on Metacritic. It's critically acclaimed. People are loving this thing. That's going to sell like crazy. Remember they said that Battlefield 5 came up below expectations, right? It was like, what, 7.9 million or 7.8 million, something like that. If this Star Wars game comes out, Jedi the Fallen Order, and it is good, and it comes out, as we're thinking, alongside the movie, this has the potential to sell, especially with where all the consoles are now in their life cycle and the install base and everything, and then on PC and everything. This could be a 20 million seller, no questions asked. It might be 24, 25. This might sell as well as their FIFA series does every year, which is huge for them. They need to step away, and I like to think that Respawn would have them step away after what happened with Apex Legends, where they decided to just launch the thing and not do probably what EA wanted to do, which was build it up and everything. So I hope Respawn has a bit of a longer leash than most of the other guys. Like BioWare seems to have a very short leash, and they kind of, EA pretty much works with them side by side and tells them to do this, that, and the other. I feel like Respawn might have a bit more trust, and they probably, obviously they check in on them, but I'm really hoping this is going to be good, and we're going to find out this weekend if it's good. So let me know what you guys think about this down below. The biggest thing here is EA, don't mess this up. I like games like Jedi Outcast. I like games like Jedi Academy, the original Jedi Knight that was on Windows 98 back in the day. I like those games. I don't need another Battlefront. I don't need another the Old Republic MMO. I just want a clean, single-player Star Wars game where I can cut stuff up with a lightsaber. And I don't think that's too much to ask. Thanks, guys, for watching. Make sure you like this video if you liked it. Dislike if not. Share it around. Because I just need EA to know. Just don't ruin Jedi Fallen Order. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.